Wrestling. This is Denver, Colorado, the man of the place, being joined for another episode of All Killer, once again, by none other than Biff Busick.
Thanks for having me, Denver, Colorado. I'm looking forward to this one. Darius Carter, he's an asshole, but he's a very good wrestler. Rick King, I saw good things out of him at the last All Killer taping against Anthony Stone. I'm looking forward to this one.
Well, here we go, another first-time encounter, as we like to do at Beyond Wrestling. Always trying to keep it fresh, and as you alluded to, Darius Carter, yeah, he's an asshole, but he's a very effective technical wrestler. We're going to see how the, what does that say in his tights? The submission technician, Rick King, if that's how he fancies himself. Well, he's certainly got one of his biggest tests to date here at Beyond Wrestling, up against Darius Carter.
Darius Carter's dangerous, man. He hits hard, and I think Rick King's going to figure that out firsthand tonight, this All Killer taping.
I believe Darius Carter was scheduled to compete against you at the Charade Charity Chowdown, and for some reason, he didn't make it. You think perhaps he's afraid of old Biff Busick?
I mean, I don't want to call him a pussy, but I think he might be a pussy.
Well, we'll see how tough he is going up against Rick King right here as these two lock horns figuratively, not literally. I hope they don't have horns. I don't know if that would be regulation. Perhaps save that for our friends at Interspecies Wrestling, as both competitors are jockeying for position. And Rick King, a compact competitor, in a lot of ways it reminds me of a wrestler that we had back in the beginning days of Beyond Wrestling that would compete regularly in Jefferson Saint. It was actually Jefferson Saint's last match in Beyond Wrestling was against Darius Carter back at the Developmental Hell studio taping a little bit before your time, old Biff Busick, but I'm sure you caught up on it at youtube.com/Beyond Wrestling. That's where fans can check out your match with Jonathan Gresham as well. And speaking of Jonathan Gresham, just as we've alluded to with AR Fox, the Hooligans, Uha Nation, and many of the other competitors in Beyond Wrestling, Rick King, believe it or not, is a graduate of Mr. Hughes' WWA4 Academy down in Atlanta, Georgia.
Absolutely. You see these guys working that lockup, and if you've never been in the ring before, you got to realize that lockup can blow you up. And these guys are showing right now they're in great shape because they've been working that lockup for the past 2 minutes, and I think Darius is throwing some dirty elbows in there, but still, very hard lockup. These guys are showing that they are very, very, very conditioned athletes.
Well, I think it's also worth mentioning, too, being a first-time encounter, neither wants to make that first big mistake. And, I mean, when you have your opponent in a lockup, there's not many positions that you can go to from there where you can do some serious damage. So, again, a bit of a conservative style, but that's where Rick King made a mistake. He had turned his direction to the hand of Darius Carter to lock up those knuckles and instead got slapped right in the mouth.
I believe we call that a bitch slap. Is that what we call it?
I mean, Darius Carter certainly wasn't fighting fair when he landed that maneuver. And Rick King now, instead of slapping Darius Carter, just taking his legs out from underneath him, and it looks like he's trying to slip that arm around Darius Carter so that he can get better leverage, and Darius wants nothing to do with it.
Hey, smart move, though. I mean, he found those ropes. If you're in trouble, you got to find those ropes. You don't want to tap out, get in a position where you're going to get hurt. Darius made the smart move, getting to those ropes, getting out of the ring.
Now, let me ask you something like this. As a competitor, when you're in the ring and you're able to build some momentum, your opponent goes to the floor. What does that do to you? How do you have to adjust your strategy for that?
It's like hitting the reset button in a video game. I mean, like you said, you got momentum going, you got something good that's about to brew, but he gets out of the ring, you got to kind of reset, get ready, and try to plan another strategy to get to where it is you want to go.
There's Darius Carter now from that collar and elbow position, trying to go for, a bit of a stranglehold. Is it fair to call it that?
It's like $1 million dream, if you ask me. Cobra clutch, maybe?
Difficult to tell from my vantage point, but Darius Carter trying to use Rick King's arm against him. So he's trying to put him to sleep, but Rick King able to use leverage, holding onto the arm of Darius Carter to send him down to the mat. Darius utilizing his long legs with that head scissors. And from this position right here, not only trying to block himself, how disrespectful is that?
Hey, head scissors, one of my favorite maneuvers in wrestling. Ooh, those slaps can't feel good either. Ooh, Rick King, though, is showing some of that submission specialist by getting that reverse out of those head scissors.
Just peppered him with some shots. Very close range. I'm not sure how much force was behind all of them. But look at the way that Rick King is moving around the ring right now. He's a little bit amped up. Maybe he's even a little bit nervous. And I think this is where Darius Carter really excels, is when he knows that he has gotten in the head of his opponent. That's when he can capitalize, and that's when he's at his most dangerous.
You see Darius throwing in those body shots, throwing in those forearms to the face. It's aggressive wrestling, and it's making Rick King turn his game up to become aggressive as well. But I think that's exactly what Darius Carter wants Rick King to do.
As Darius Carter from this position has Rick King's legs tied up. Rick King in danger. Darius Carter just drops down and just bending the ankle before snapping with all of his body's weight, trying to hyperextend the knee. And now, with all of his body's weight, sitting on the back of his opponent.
That doesn't feel good, that Indian Deathlock variation, especially how Darius is very long body, so when he gets that leverage, he can bend that body and those limbs a lot farther than a lot of other guys, and it hurts really bad.
With those arms trapped, trying to drive the wind out of his opponent, again sitting on him as he changes it back up, doing more damage to the legs now. Darius Carter will not necessarily pinpoint one part of his opponent's body. He likes to systematically destroy them.
I don't like Darius personally, but I have to respect his skills in the ring. He knows what he's doing, and he's looks like he's got a strategy going up that leg.
Yeah, but we also saw him attacking the back. We saw him attacking the ribs. Do you think that it would work to his benefit to continue to attack the legs, or do you think that perhaps that's a bit of misdirection to throw his opponent off his game?
It's actually a really good point. I mean, that could be exactly what he's doing. I think he has a sound strategy going into this match, and I think we're seeing it unfold right now. There he goes to that leg one more time, wrapping it up. I think we can tell that he's targeting that leg, and he's going to try to continue to target throughout this match.
Fair enough. Perhaps looking for a submission, or at the very least, I mean, if you can't walk, it's obviously going to be very difficult to wrestle as he's trying to bend his opponent's leg so that he can use the sole of the boot to kick him in the face. He kicked himself in the face.
In the head? I think he did. He kicked himself directly in the face.
Darius Carter making a mistake right there. Rick King trying to capitalize on this opening. And at least he's got that front face lock applied, but Darius Carter is not looking to expend any energy trying to find an escape instead of using his long legs to get over the ropes.
I still can't get over what an asshole though Darius Carter is. Isn't he just a prick? I look at his face, he's a douchebag.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the head cheerleader of the Darius Carter fan club, if that's what you're insinuating. Just like you, I respect his ability, but that's pretty much where the appreciation ends.
He has the ugliest blue suits, too. I don't understand. He needs to buy a new suit.
The alleged debonair millionaire, certainly not debonair. I've never seen his bank statements, but if wrestling ability is money, Darius Carter is rich in that regard. But right here, he gets caught with that leg submission, almost trying to target the ankle, like an Achilles lock. Am I correct with the leg grapevine?
Looks like that. It looks like since his leg was getting attacked, now he's trying to reverse that strategy on Darius, and it looks like it's working pretty good.
But Darius just trying to take a straight shot to punch the knee. And, of course, you know, the kneecap is designed for your leg to bend back and forth, not from side to side. Oh, now Darius Carter trying to kick Rick King because he's really in danger of being forced to submit right here. And finally, just repeated shots to the bottom of the hamstring. Of course, the biggest muscle in the human body. And if you can knock that up, you're going to take away a lot of the mobility of your opponent.
It seems like these guys are going after each other's legs. And Darius' strategy seems to be working out a lot better than Rick King's at the moment.
Of course, Darius, those long legs, they're so easy to target, but we still don't know much about Rick King. Again, we only saw him compete against Anthony Stone and one of the other CZW students when he made his debut for the Beyond Wrestling at the CZW Academy. Back when it was across the street from the ECW arena, so Darius Carter, of course, that was the studio taping where he decided that he was going to ruin one Johnny Miyagi's life. Johnny Miyagi not in attendance here today. And you got to think that if an opportunity like that presents itself, I wouldn't be surprised to see Darius Carter try and put Rick King out of wrestling as well, because that's just the type of guy that he is.
I'm not trying to downplay Johnny Miyagi's skills, but coming from the WWE Force school down in Atlanta, I'm going to say Rick King is going to be able to defend himself a little bit more effectively than Johnny Miyagi was against Darius Carter.
Why do you think Darius Carter let Rick King get back up to a vertical blaze? Is this where really the mind games take effect?
Well, Darius Carter, he's an asshole, but he's smart, so I'm sure that those mind games are coming into effect right here.
Perhaps it's not just enough to defeat his opponent. He wants to humiliate him in front of all of his peers. And without much trouble, able to sweep that leg out from underneath Rick King, and now with the knee buried on the face, Rick King forced to use his neck strength to bridge up, but in order to maintain that bridge, you have to have a working leg. Now just shifting his body's weight in order to be able to kick out. Once again, going back to that bridge, showing tremendous strength and flexibility. Darius Carter trying to kick those legs out from underneath Rick King, and Rick King supporting his opponent's weight, bridging up once again. Now just barely getting that shoulder off the mat. Oh, but Darius Carter going to the well one too many times. Rick King looking for that wheelbarrow, but instead finding the arm drag. Was looking to slip through the legs of Darius Carter, now just bum rushing him in the corner.
Hey, Darius Carter's, we're seeing his strategy play out right here. But Rick King is trying his best, but I think that knee is just, it's too damaged to do anything effective with Darius Carter.
Yeah, he's just one step behind Darius Carter every point in this contest. Of course, Carter, while he had his opponent on the top rope, went for a shortcut, caught him right in the throat. And now, perhaps going for a superplex. We saw in the previous episode of All Killer just how dangerous that top rope position can be in such close quarters here at the CCW Academy, as AR Fox was sent spine first into that brick wall. So Darius Carter looking for a vertical suplex from the second rope, but Rick King trying to fight him off. Again, targeting the leg, and now trying to change the position. Oh, straight shot to the side of the head.
Rick King showing that he's willing to go all out at Beyond Wrestling to impress, and hopefully, it looks like right here he's reversing this top rope superplex attempt by, oh God, I don't even know what he's trying to do right now to Darius Carter.
Yeah, Darius Carter's really fighting right here because he has to be worried about getting thrown out of the ring, but instead Rick King holding Darius Carter overhead, oh, and spinning midair, taking him down with a vertical suplex from the second rope. Great strength out of Rick King. Great balance, too, to be able to maintain that position on the rope.
But look at that leg, that knee, it's still bothering him. Even though he was able to hit that move on Darius Carter, the strategy of Darius Carter is still showing in that knee being hurt on Rick King.
I think that's an excellent point. We saw him hobbling right there as he goes after the legs of Darius Carter. And once again, like you said, Darius Carter hitting the reset button. Just as we saw in the beginning of the match when it looked like Rick King was really about to build some momentum, Darius Carter goes to the outside. And it may look like he's trying to leave the CCW Academy. He don't want no more Rick King. He's going to put his tail between his legs and eat the point and lose this one.
Hey, his courage isn't questioned, but his intelligence shares, and he's a smart competitor. He's doing what he has to do to get the win. And right now, he's getting that breath back. Ooh.
And that's exactly what he did. He suckered Rick King into his trap. King, with too much pride, did not want to count out victory in this one, and as he came charging after Darius Carter, Carter kicked him not only in the midsection, but then caught him on the side of the head. And there we see Rick King alongside some of his training partners at WWE 4. They're going to allow this one to be a clean fight. Rick King trying to fight back. Striking Darius Carter, raining down with those clubbing blows, now chopping the chest. He's going to be looking for that Irish whip. Oh, and Darius Carter just sitting right in the garbage can.
Still, though, Darius Carter's a scumbag. I wouldn't want to be fighting him outside that ring because that's where he does his most devious deeds. I would get him in the ring as fast as I possibly could.
There we see the official checking on Darius Carter to see if he can even compete. Did you see the expression, the pain etched on the face of Rick King? And now the official is calling for some separation. I don't know what Darius Carter could have possibly said to him, but I think that Carter was trying to lure King in again to attack the leg. He missed with the first shot, and instead, King just raining down stomps, bringing Darius Carter in the ring where he's a little bit less dangerous, but not by much. And Darius trying to roll across the ring. There we see Rick King can't even put any pressure on that leg, using his upper body strength to pull himself to the top rope. And just a glancing blow from Darius Carter with the enziguri, but King lost his balance, came tumbling down hard to the canvas.
He made a big mistake. When he rolled him in the ring, he should have got the pin right away, but he tried to go all out, go to that top rope, and Darius Carter, being the smart guy that he is, took advantage of it.
Yeah, King certainly looking to impress here. I'm sure he wants to be back at Beyond Wrestling with hundreds of thousands of millions of people watching at youtube.com/Beyond Wrestling. This is a great source of exposure! And I think the back of his head just got exposed to the mat. That bridging leg hook suplex, now going to the pin. King still kicks out.
King showing that he's got that drive to win. I'm impressed. King, even though he's been falling a little bit short of Darius Carter's devious ways, is still showing that he's a good competitor and he wants to get the win.
Darius Carter has not taken his eyes off of Rick King since he kicked out of that maneuver. Rick King using the ropes to pull himself back up, but he may have backed himself literally into a corner.
I don't know what Darius is going for. Looks like a big boot. Rick King too quick. Ooh, right to the ankle. Now I think the playing field has been leveled.
Yeah, Darius Carter just got leveled, and we saw the way that his foot was planted too on the canvas. That could have done serious damage to the ankle as King goes back to that Achilles lock. A bit of a variation of an ankle lock. The way that he's holding his opponent's foot does a lot more damage to the Achilles tendon, which runs down the back of the calf. Oh no! Darius Carter just rolling through. King sent skull first into the concrete. And Darius Carter stealing a victory. He may have outsmarted his opponent, but he also knocked him out.
Rick King just got bamboozled.
Yeah, King just got his brain scrambled. Barely even stirring right here. Man, he really hit his head hard on that concrete wall.
How smart, though, is Darius Carter to use his surroundings? He couldn't get the job done working that leg over the whole match, but he was smart enough to take advantage of that brick wall. Bam! He got the win over Rick King.
And Darius Carter, very resourceful. I don't like Darius Carter. He really gets under my skin. He irks me. You know what I'm getting at? You see what I'm driving at? Irk.
I smell what you're cooking. He's a scumbag.
And there we have it, the winner, Darius Carter, at the expense of Rick King, a competitor that I'd love to see back here at Beyond Wrestling. Darius Carter, I can do with that. Let's get rid of Carter. He won, though. He should probably be back.
This company needs excellence. This company needs Darius Carter. Silence when I'm speaking.
You don't take him seriously. You laughed right there. You don't take him seriously?
I just think that his mustard yellow trunks are ugly. I respect his skills in the ring. He's a good competitor. He's an asshole, but I respect his skills in the ring. He's dangerous.
And you can take that to the bank.
Ah, shut up. This is certainly one for our longtime special fans that have been following us from the very beginning. Caleb Conley, people are always complimenting this guy on his looks, but the guy that he's going to be stepping in the ring with, he ain't no slouch in the looks department either. David Starr, who made his debut, also competing against Anthony Stone at the last set of All Killer tapings. Anthony Stone, something of a gatekeeper, taking on all of the newcomers. And I'm going to be honest with you, Biff Busick, humiliating to admit, I've never seen Caleb Conley wrestle before.
Hey, a couple of pretty boys going at it, but I've been in the ring with both guys, and they're both really good. I like Caleb Conley. I actually wrestled him at CZW's Best of the Best, and he's good, man. He hits hard, so this should be a good encounter between David Starr, another CZW Academy graduate.
Here we see Caleb Conley for the first time here in Beyond Wrestling. And David Starr, he's a competitor that's still trying to find himself. Today he's rocking the bell bottoms. And as a result, he is getting the Fandango chance. Timely. Maybe not.
You're saying it wrong. It's David Starr.
Oh! Get it? That didn't do much to shut up the other wrestlers here. I think they're giving him a hard time because of his funny pants.
I don't know. He better be careful, though, because Caleb Conley will take advantage and kick him directly in that pretty face of his.
Two pretty boys going at it. Both of these guys can get it done, though. Caleb Conley's been tearing it up. All up and down the East Coast, especially in the Central States. That's not what they're called. But the Carolinas, that's what they're called. That's where Caleb Conley is most at home. But, I mean, let's not forget, he's seen a lot of success in Dragon Gate USA and Evolve. And right now looking to continue that success. Let's try that again. Looking to continue that success. I can't do commentary with you, Biff Busick. Stop looking at me like that. As Caleb Conley, no. But he's here at the CGW Academy. You said you competed against him last night at the Best of the Best tournament. I'm sure he's a competitor that would like to earn many future bookings with Combat Zone Wrestling. We see CCW head honcho DJ Hyde watching intently in the background as Caleb Conley goes one-on-one with his top prospect coming out of the CCW Academy in David Starr.
Absolutely, and Caleb Conley has a lot of tag team experience with his partner Scott Reed. And I wouldn't say he has as much as in the singles department, but I mean, a guy like David Starr, even though he has goofy bell bottoms on right now, he is a very good wrestler. I think right now Caleb Conley's going to get tested in the singles department big time with a great wrestler like David Starr.
You know, a lot of these guys, they want to try and find themselves, to try and find a way that they can be able to market themselves. But the thing is that doesn't necessarily have any effect on their wrestling ability. And David Starr is certainly a blue chipper. Believe it or not, I've heard a lot of comparisons to David Starr and an early Adam Cole. I mean, that's a huge. Those are huge shoes to fill. You know, that's a huge comparison to live up to. And David Starr so far is a bit hesitant as Caleb Conley looks to continue to take the fight to him. He's very mouthy, really jaw-jacking with Caleb Conley, but that's not doing too good for his wrist right now.
What does David Starr want us to look at? I don't understand. What does he want us to look at? Do you know? Are you looking at it?
First I thought it was like, look at it, like look at my dinky. But then I thought it was like, look at it, it being David Starr, like him being the entire entity. And
You didn't get a 1 count. Come on.
Caleb Conley starting to get mouthy back. And maybe that's David Starr's strategy coming to this match. He wants him to look at it, maybe look at his mouth as he's running it, so that he can try and one-up him. Of course, Caleb Conley, a lot more experience coming to this match than David Starr, so you got to think that David Starr, a bit of an underdog, but, he said look at it, and then he pointed to his crotch. Maybe he does want you to look at his crotch.
There's a great leapfrog and arm drag after David Starr delivering a look at his dinky.
Well, look at that. Look at it. The monkey flip, sending him across the ring. And David Starr take it down with a drop kick. Some elementary offense from Caleb Conley, but with the precision he was able to utilize those maneuvers, he was able to score a near fall against David Starr.
Caleb Conley's one of those guys that people think, oh, just another pretty boy, but he's one of those guys that even though he looks good, he can still go in the ring as well. And I think he really wants to prove that today in Beyond Wrestling.
And not every wrestler is as flashy as A.R. Fox, but sometimes when you're so fundamentally sound the way that Caleb Conley is, you don't have to take those insane risks in order to one-up your opponents. We saw Caleb Conley with the wherewithal to catch himself on the apron. David Starr spent too much time jaw-jacking. The clothesline attempt was deflected. He gets knocked down. And Caleb Conley moonsaulting into the ring. And see, he took a high risk right there and it didn't pay off. David Starr knew to get his knees up.
David Starr, a pretty boy, but very smart as well, putting those knees up to block against that beautiful lion salt attempt by Caleb Conley.
And now David Starr trying to use his knees to wear down Caleb Conley. Why isn't he capitalizing on this opening? There's a very lackadaisical attitude. He needs to be a lot more focused if he wants to knock off a competitor that's done so much more in the world of wrestling than he has in Caleb Conley. You got to think that David Starr eventually looking to make his debut on the CGW main roster, and with DJ Hyde, the CGW owner, watching on just a few feet from ringside, I don't know if he's impressed with maneuvers like that. Giving the old fuck you while slapping him on the head.
I think David Starr is too obsessed with his dinky, I think you called it. He needs to be more obsessed with winning this match against Caleb Conley.
Yeah, sometimes these pretty boys, oh man, caught him with that knockout blow. Caleb Conley crumpled into a heap of himself. And I think it might have been the referee slapping the mat that woke him up just in the nick of time. But when you've got some of these pretty boy types, they're so conceited, so self-absorbed. It's almost like David Starr can't get over himself to worry about the more pressing issue, which, like you said, is defeating Caleb Conley.
It's too bad because I know when David Starr gets over his ego, he is a good competitor in that ring, and like that elbow right there. But I think he needs to concentrate more on what's happening in the ring, less than what the fans think outside.
And even more distracting than, fans being ringside. They've got the wrestlers too, because these guys aren't here just to support. They're here to judge. They're here to scout. They want to see what you're doing in the event that they're going to be faced in the ring with you. And see right here, David Starr letting the other wrestlers get into his head, and that allows just that momentary separation for Caleb to try and mount a comeback. First the forearm, then the chop. And now he's going after the face of David Starr. David Starr did not like that. Not one iota.
What do you think about David Starr? Do you think that he's the type of competitor that can be successful in Beyond Wrestling, or do you think that because he wants people to look at it, that he's not going to be very successful here in the universe of Beyond Wrestling?
Well, let's face it. We've had all types here in Beyond Wrestling. I mean, like a competitor that you wrestle up against, Jonathan Gresham. I think on the other end of that spectrum is another John, one Johnny Cockstrong, who's a former #1 ranked wrestler in Beyond Wrestling. And, hitting people with his penis was a large part of that. So I think that as long as you have a sound strategy and you're able to execute it, whether you're a serious wrestler, whether you're a silly wrestler, it's all about how you approach each and every match. And one thing that has to be said about Beyond Wrestling is that even though the wrestlers are all over the spectrum, you have to take every match seriously. Because not only is it a big opportunity to impress your peers, perhaps earn future bookings, you're being watched by a worldwide audience. Beyond Wrestling is independent wrestling's most watched YouTube channel. You know how many promoters say, holy shit, that guy's awesome. I want to see what he can do when matched up against with one of the wrestlers that I'm currently booking. What kind of a match are they going to have? Is it going to be a blowout? Is it going to be competitive? And that's really how it works in the world of wrestling. The more opportunities you get, the better chance you have at making a name for yourself. When you increase your popularity, you become a must-see wrestler. And right there, with that jackknife combination, Caleb almost had David Starr beat, but just like that, giving David Starr credit, this is why I think David Starr's a good fit for Beyond Wrestling, because just like that, he was able to turn the tide with that clothesline. Does that answer your question?
That was a very good answer. I think we just saw a flash of brilliance by David Starr with that very, very hard clothesline. Looks like he's about to follow up with this beautiful sleeper hold right now on Caleb Conley. Looking to put him away to submission. But Caleb Conley, oh, look at this right here. David Starr showing me something now. No more dinky points. Maybe I spoke too soon.
That was the pinning version of a dinky point, in my opinion. But able to clamp his legs together. Oh! And kicking Caleb Conley back. The longer this match goes on, it does seem the more intense that David Starr is getting. It's too bad he hasn't been able to channel that from the start.
In my opinion, I think David Starr is trying to portray this look at it thing, but if you just concentrate on his good wrestling skills, which I have seen flash of, I think you have too, I think he'll be a lot more successful. He needs to stop worrying about portraying this bell-bottom dinky pointer. He needs to concentrate on Caleb Conley and getting him finished off in that ring and get the win.
Well, I mean, let's face it, sometimes being a good wrestler isn't good enough. So, I mean, you can't blame David Starr for, wanting to try and separate himself from the pack, but he's going to be careful because it's coming at the expense of being on the receiving end of an ass beating from Caleb Conley. Caleb Conley's strikes have all been on point in this match. But David Starr coming off the ropes with the elbow. Oh, Caleb Conley brushing away the kicks. Sweeping legs out from underneath them. And the senton as he coils and uncoils on the chest. David Starr just seconds away from being pinned.
This has been an interesting match. There's been a lot of gaga, should I say, from David Starr, but also right there we saw a flash of brilliance from Caleb Conley being able to get that leg trip into that senton. Let's see if we can put David Starr away right here.
A bit of misdirection, and that could have cost him right there. David Starr hugging him up and taking him down with that Olympic-style slam. Very high-impact maneuver, and that was a great pin. That was a great pin as well. That was a really, really good pin. You don't believe me? What, you don't think that was a good pin?
What did you like about that pin? What was your most admirable trait about that pin?
He had his opponent's body's weight stacked up against him. Not only was Caleb Conley carrying David Starr's weight, but it was also his own weight, the weight of his legs, folded on top of him. Nevertheless, this match continuing. David Starr looking for that bridging German suplex. I'd have to imagine Caleb Conley putting on the brakes, and David Starr smart to get low, lowering that center of gravity, making it more difficult for Caleb Conley to be able to toss him overhead. We see the same out of Caleb Conley as he drops a knee to the mat, switches the position. And now while he brings his opponent to the ropes, he was trying to take him down with that O'Connor roll. And there we see the German suplex from David Starr. Could not hold on to the pin. And these seconds trying to get back into this lateral press could spell the difference between a victory and Caleb Conley kicking out.
Caleb Conley's a tough kid. I mean, right there we saw, like I said, the flash of brilliance from David Starr. He is a very talented wrestler. I wish he would just focus on that ability rather than trying to say, look at it. Because right there we saw that he has the skills to get the job done. We also saw the skills from Caleb Conley showing he's a tough kid.
David Starr asking the other wrestlers, do they want it? What do they want? They already have to look at it. Now they want it too? Make up your mind, man. Look at it or want it. You can't have your cake and eat it too. David Starr taking some time getting to that top rope. Perhaps going to be looking for a missile drop kick. Oh no! Into the waiting arms of Caleb Conley. The Moonlight Bomb, as it is known. Wow. I didn't think David Starr was getting out of that one. I'm going to be honest with you, Biff.
On the receiving end of that moonlight bomb, and it hurt like a motherfucker.
That's true, man. I mean, all of that impact coming down over your opponent's shoulders onto your own, right into the pin. And there we see the sliding clothesline. Caleb Conley not content to put his opponent away with that. Now going for a German suplex. David Starr rolling through, and it looks like he hooked the trunks. And he steals a victory here at the CCW Academy.
Well, that's just bullshit. I don't know what else to say. What a bullshit way to win. David Starr, I thought he would kind of, like I said, he showed those flash of brilliances, but at the end, had to be an asshole, hold the tights. Bullshit.
Well, you know what? That's the thing. Is like in the record books, yes, it says you're a winner, but with all of your other peers here, now they know that not only could you not get the job done, but you're also a cheater. And the more you cheat, the harder it is to successfully execute those treacherous tactics every time you step foot in the ring. But I'm not going to dog this kid. He was outmatched. He was the underdog coming into this. Caleb Conley certainly the favorite. And David Starr, by hook or by crook, by hook because he hooked the trunks, he ended up picking up the victory. Hashtag look at it. Main event time here at All Killer episode 18. We got the Black Baron going one-on-one for the very first time against Jaka. Now the Black Baron is a competitor that you've shared the ring with at the Charade Charity Chowdown. What can we expect from the Baron?
Black Baron, one of my favorite competitors. Very good technician, tough kid, strong striker. Love his gear. Love his name, the Black Baron.
Now see, I'm sorry to cut you off, but you were dogging David Starr for trying to find those more appealing elements in the last match, whereas that was something that you noted about. You like the way that the Black Baron looks. It's not something that you could probably, better describe more than that. I mean, that doesn't necessarily make him a better wrestler, but for some reason you appreciate him more because of it.
Well, I appreciate the Black Baron more because at least he doesn't tell me to look at his little dinky.
Fair enough. And here we see Jaka, who's all jungled out today. The Smooth Savage, the former Smooth Savage, nothing smooth about him. Let's see what kind of a hairdo he's donning today. I'm going to say he's got the double mohawks.
He takes very long to take off that, I don't even know what you call it, scarf? But hey, it's worth it. It's good to see a pretty cool haircut after he takes it off.
Wow, the unveiling of Jaka. And I can't even tell. It looks like he's got a yin-yang. Perhaps channeling the Smooth Savage side that we used to see. The former Johnny Mangway, and you never knew which one you got. Those two elements complementing each other so well. But so far, since he's emerged as this Jaka persona, he has been practically unstoppable here in Beyond Wrestling. He's going to be looking to take down the Black Baron. Great execution on that drop kick.
Great dropkick indeed. I'm very interested in this match because I've been in the ring with both these guys. Jaka, he's crazy. He's a savage. Black Baron, he's more of a technician. He's more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Cerebral kind of competitor. So it's going to be a very interesting match to see these two guys collide. I don't know. I can't pick a winner. Who do you think?
One thing that I got to say about the Black Baron that I've noticed more and more that I watch his matches is that he's got an incredible poker face, for lack of a better term. A lot of times when wrestlers are competing, you can see the expression on their face and determine, is this guy frustrated? Is this guy scared? Is this guy confident? Very rarely does the Black Baron change facial expressions, and I think that's by design. It makes it more difficult for his opponent to perhaps say, I think this guy is beat. They don't know where they are in the match when they're going up against the Black Baron. Although, Jaka, you can tell the pain etched on the face of the Black Baron. Baron trying his best not to show that pain.
Black Baron's one of the stiffest Texas Florida releases I've ever felt. There's a real stiff neck breaker by Jaka. But man, after I wrestled the Black Baron, I felt my back sore for about 2 weeks after that Texas Florida.
Ooh, Jaka preventing himself from slamming face first into the mat. Not able to connect with the Rolling Thunder headbutt. The Black Baron thought he outsmarted Jaka. No, he just got a wild man leapt into his lap.
Jaka's got to be, about 220, so that ain't no light guy falling on top here. I think that the Black Baron's hurt right here.
Oh, now biting Black Baron's ankles. You're not going to win a match like that, you crazy savage. Oh, Jaka now with those taped fingers going to the face. Ooh, and those taped fingers doing that much more damage. But Jaka got caught right there. And one thing that I've noticed about the Black Baron is that when he throws strikes, a lot of times he doesn't throw all of his body's weight into it. It's just with the strength of his arms, and so as a result, he doesn't expend as much energy. You know, a lot of times you see guys, it's that machismo. They want to go strike for strike to see who can get that knockout. When Black Baron is in a position like that, he's not exerting as much energy, but that doesn't take anything away from the effectiveness of those shots. How hard are those strikes from the Black Baron?
Oh, that's a great point there, Colorado. Like how you said, he doesn't put his whole body into it. That's because he is so strong. And look at his arms. He doesn't need to put his whole body into it. Like you said before, it's a smart strategy. Because then, in turn, his cardio will stay, you know, at a place where he feels comfortable with and he doesn't get too blown up at the end of the match.
Of course not. You got to be able to breathe at all times. I mean, when you're sucking for air, that's really when you're probably at your most vulnerable. And I think the Black Baron, he's so strong, but that's just why Jaka's utilizing a maneuver like this, because he's trying to take all of the strength. He's trying to sap the energy out of the Black Baron, because that trapezius hold, I mean, that trapezius muscle controls a lot of the strength in the arm.
I feel you, it's connected to the neck as well. And once you hurt that neck, which is the most important part of a wrestler's body, he's all done.
There we see again those close-range strikes from the Black Baron. Of course, every single step that you take in a professional wrestling ring, you're expending energy. And let's face it, I mean, nobody's got an unlimited source of that. Jaka, though. Oh! The DDT to the top of the head didn't work. So how about that? Getting driven on the back of his skull. And again, no matter how much time you spend in the gym, there's always going to be certain vulnerable spots on the human body, like that cluster of nerves that's affected when you work over the trapezius muscle. Another spot is where the back of the skull connects with the base of the neck. Black Baron utilizing that and just using that short-range chop in between the shoulder blades to do more damage to Jaka.
Jaka's got a hard head, we all know that, but Black Baron's smart enough to attack from all those different angles. He had that front DDT, that reverse DDT, and now Jaka's feeling it. Ooh, there's a stiff chop right to that large chest of Jaka. 2 count only.
Black Baron sizing up Jaka. Able to apply that cravat, a potential submission predicament. And Jaka's going to be trying to fight up to a vertical base, but I think by doing so, it's going to allow Black Baron to apply more pressure to him. This is a difficult hold to escape.
Smart hold, too, by Black Baron. I mean, a guy like Jaka, you got to keep him immobilized like this. And that cravat holds the perfect hold to do that.
Jaka trying to find some separation, rattling off a number of shots to the midsection. Of course, Jaka not wearing boots. You see the combination out of the Black Baron leaping to finalize it with that neck breaker, but is that going to be enough? Jaka struggling to get out of that pin, exerting a lot of energy doing so. You saw his arms and his legs shaking wildly.
Black Baron, too, showing his athleticism with that neck breaker. I mean, look at the Black Baron. I don't think you think he's that athletic, but he just showed everybody right there that he's capable of busting out those super athletic moves when he needs to.
I mean, I don't know what to think. I saw competitors, the likes of the Hooligans, that also graduated from the WWE 4 Academy, the same place that the Black Baron was trained. So, obviously, looks can be deceiving.
Can't judge a book by its cover, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say so. And right now, Jaka ain't going to be judging anything because he can't see, because Black Baron, a bit uncharacteristic, went to the eyes. Do you think that Black Baron's starting to get a little bit desperate?
I mean, who wouldn't get desperate? Jaka, I mean, he's a savage. He's a beast. I mean, I would do personally whatever I could do to get the win against him, because obviously hitting him in the head ain't going to work. I mean, the thing's thick as anything.
Now Black Baron coming down with that elbow to the side of the head. Now trying to put Jaka to sleep instead. That was just to be able to transition where he's going to continue to target the neck of Jaka. And I think, like you said, that deep, strong Texas cloverleaf that the Black Baron likes to employ, even though he's got his opponent hooked up by the legs, that is a submission hold that targets the neck because of the way that he bends his opponent's body. Would you agree with that assessment?
Absolutely. It's like a reverse small package. Your toes are meeting the top of your head, which I don't know if you've ever felt that before, but does not feel very good at all. Man, not the place down in Colorado.
I'll leave that up to the wrestlers. I mean, I don't think that I could face an onslaught, the likes of which we've seen from the Black Baron, to keep on ticking the way that Jaka has. Again, caught with that European uppercut. Very different than the technique that we see you employ when you utilize that same maneuver. But here we see Jaka. Wow! 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 That's all I can say. He almost threw him out of the ring.
Right in the back of his head, too. I think Black Baron might be down for the count here. He better get his shit together before Jaka takes advantage and ends this match.
Well, Jaka able to create an opening for himself. That doesn't mean he can get back up to his feet first. Whoever's able to do so is going to have a decisive advantage. And right now it looks to be the Black Baron. Jaka trying to feed off the energy of the wrestlers here. Comes charging in. Oh, man, the leaping boot from the Black Baron. Baron grabbing him by the back of the head, and perhaps on instinct alone trying to drive the front of the skull of Jaka into the turnbuckle, and that's proving to be a mistake.
He's making the biggest mistake in the game, trying to hit that head of Jaka, hardest part of his body, and now he's about to feel the wrath of the Savage.
The Savage strikes with all those taped fingers. Rolling into position, came charging in with a shot to the throat. Black Baron unable to get out of the way, and again, not much behind those strikes from Jaka. Jaka looking to send Baron for the ride. Baron getting the boots up, and now Jaka connects with the headbutt, and again, and now the kick. A series of strikes out of Jaka as he's able to leap over onto the apron and connects with the taped fingers to the side of the head.
Obviously, Jaka's feeling the onslaught by those lifters, those chops, those DDTs, that offense, dangerous offense, I should say, by Black Baron, but still looks like he's getting his wing back, and we're about to see some dangerous offense from Jaka right here.
Perhaps going for that high cross body, having trouble getting a position, and here comes the Baron with an exploder off the top rope. Baron, you gotta get over to Jaka, you got him beat. Got the leg hooked. 1, 2, oh! I'm surprised that was not enough for Black Baron to defeat Jaka.
I've never seen somebody take it to Jaka like this. Jaka looks hurt. I can never say I've really seen that in that. Jaka's usually always crazy, snarling, drooling all around, but I think Black Baron finally has put the hurting on Mr. Jaka here.
Again, the upper body strength behind all of those strikes. Baron looking for a signature combination. He comes with all the momentum off the ropes for the back elbow. Jaka staggered. Baron came walking right into that face buster. Jaka looking to build momentum off the ropes, rebounding off those steel cables. Oh, for Christ's sake. Just launched him with that release German suplex. And now the Jumanji bomb, the impact into the pin. I thought that was hit.
He got dropped on the back of his Malala right there.
I wasn't asking you. I don't even know what that means. Biff Busick enjoying his gig as a commentator a little bit too much. Black Baron not enjoying getting dropped on his Maloa. But nevertheless, as this match marches on, and Jaka perhaps going to be looking for that flying body splash off the top rope. I'm surprised we haven't seen Jaka go for the jaws of the Jaguar. Perhaps that's going to be deepest in his bag of tricks. He's not going to be looking to reach for it unless absolutely forced to. Going to that top rope, looking for the splash. Oh, caught him with it. That's going to be it, right? Right? No, I was wrong.
No, you were wrong. I think Jaka's hurt. I think that's what it is. I think Baron has hurt Jaka. And Jaka, that's why he's been going for that jaws of the Jaguar. Ooh, I might have spoken too soon, but I'm going to say it again. Jaka's hurt. Baron has hurt Jaka, which is a very rare thing to happen to the Savage.
Yeah, and whatever part of his body is hurt, Jaka's not really letting on. Connecting with a series of shots, chopping the leg out from underneath the Baron, and now trying to pull him in the jaws of the Jaguar. He's got the feet in position. He's trying to clasp onto the wrist, but like you said, there's not as much force behind this hold as we're used to seeing.
This is an interesting submission hold, too, because when this submission hold's applied, you slowly black out. I've been on the receiving end of it many times. It's a very, very hard submission to get out of it. Black Baron proving he can do it right there.
Now he's got Jaka hooked up. Jaka able to find a counter with that arm drag, staggering around. Was going for the Jumanji bomb. Oh, God! Just kill him with that clothesline. I can't believe that wasn't enough. The strong arms of Black Baron. And now Baron going into the submission hold right here. But Jaka's trying to fight it off. Jaka trying to get his legs in a position. And that's what makes the jaws of the Jaguar so deadly, is he can locking on from so many different positions, now going after the eyes of the Black Baron, something we saw the Baron do earlier in the contest. Baron staggers. Jaka taking too much time to go for the strike. Gets caught with that elbow. Baron's got the arm hooked around the head. Oh, just driving the wind out of his chest. Holding on and bridging over. A maneuver like this, we see almost like a crossface with Jaka's own arm pushed across the bridge of his nose as his shoulder's trying to be whipped away from his body, the pressure on the neck. I don't know what the Black Baron calls it, but I'm going to call it effective. And it looks like Jaka's arm may be cutting off the flow of blood to his brain as Jaka is starting to fade right here. The arm dropped once, and I think that Jaka's trying to tap out. Jaka tapped out right there. And the Black Baron, as the bell sounds, releasing the hold, not looking to punish his opponent too much more. There we see Jaka tapping out as the official was checking on his condition. The Black Baron victorious. I'm going to say that that's going to be considered to be somewhat of an upset here at Beyond Wrestling.
That's got to be the first time that Jaka's ever submitted in the history of Beyond Wrestling too, am I right? He's never lost by submission before ever. That's a very impressive thing from the Black Baron to make Jaka submit.
Not only defeating his opponent, but doing so decisively. The Black Baron getting Jaka to tap out here at All Killer. Fans, I certainly encourage you, if you don't already, please subscribe at youtube.com/Beyond Wrestling for more episodes of All Killer, free weekly matches, and so much more.